Tonight I walked out of a movie in theaters for the first time that I really can remember. I usually don't like to do that because I feel like I need to get my money's worth, and I'm usually a pretty good judge of what movies I'm going to like. I guess this time my intuition just led me the wrong way, or I didn't read enough reviews or whatever. I usually don't trust reviews that much. And I went to the movies by myself, because I do that a lot, because I'm one of those people. When you read, you don't hold a book and then someone's reading with you over your shoulder. Some people do that. I mean, parents do that with their kids, but that's different. So yeah, tonight I went to see this one movie that the premise looked quirky and honestly, an escape. This time it really was just this spiteful escape. The movie had a spiteful tone to it, and a lot of it, what it was trying to sell was through sex, which is so much of Hollywood these days. And this wasn't even a Hollywood movie. It was this independent movie. It went against I guess my moral code, or not my moral code, but the follower of Christ's moral code, because I am a Christian, and I have I'm part of a church of people who really are intentional about living like Jesus. So it's got me kind of rethinking about the world to come. Why do we escape to other worlds? What is the promise of a world beyond this one? And it just doesn't match up with this film and so many other films that I've seen. But I guess I'm being a little more critical of the one that I just walked out of tonight, because it was bad in a way. It was not only bad as in it didn't hold my interest for more than half an hour, because I walked out before even half an hour was up, which surprised me because usually I'm pretty patient with my entertainment and not that critical. But this time it was also bad in terms of just not loving. It didn't point to people who were striving to be loving in relationships. It pointed to people who just wanted to get back at how they were hurt in relationships, or be spiteful, and it was all about conditional love. And it was some kind of contest. And love is not, it's not a competition. I'm not going to name what movie it was. I don't feel like I want to give it the honor of naming it or anything. But I also just don't want to bring up any controversy. Just know there's a movie out there in theaters that offended me, basically, like this. It offended me and made me feel anxious. And I'm already a pretty anxious person. That's a kind of an understatement. It's kind of this spiral that I fall into where I'm anxious, so I numb myself. I kind of use entertainment as an anesthetic for my anxiety. I'll go on YouTube and just watch the same old videos that make me laugh, just to not have to address the world and meaningful stories and messages head on. But really, those are the things that I care about. I want to tell and be told meaningful stories about the real humans and real relationships. So yeah, and then when it just bums me out that I tried to do that by actually sitting and paying attention to a movie, because I haven't been able to pay attention to many things for too long lately, because my mind has just been all over the place. And tonight when I tried to do that, it just was it was a story, but about relationships, but it wasn't nearly the approach that I would want to take. That I don't think it's the approach that anyone should take if they're going to be actually patient and kind, which is what love is. That's what the Bible says, and the Bible is a collection of words that are very powerful in terms of talking about love, and those words influence, if you internalize them enough, will influence your actions to be more loving, if you really think about what they mean. I think we internalize whatever we consume, whatever media you consume, music, movies, books, video games. There's a lot of all of those things that tell really good stories and preach good messages, namely about loving and caring and standing up for people and being true to oneself and overcoming those obstacles and not giving into spite and revenge and all those things, and your bodily desires especially. And there was so much of that in this movie that I just walked out of, and that's why I walked out of it. And I just got to thinking that not only did the actual film itself make me feel uneasy, but the way my mind actually gravitated toward criticizing it, I had to stop myself. I was wow, as I was talking to myself in the car, because I talk to myself. I'm talking to myself now, except there's a camera in front of me. I was criticizing the movie by saying, like, man, that was so effing stupid, you know, or something like that. And I had to stop and think, why did I just say that? Who am I trying to look cool in front of? There's nobody around. Most of the time when people try to look cool or like use harsh words, it's a defense mechanism to make people feel like they're, you know, more abrasive than they actually are. And I think I've internalized that because I use defense mechanisms to not look as sensitive as I actually am. It's the only way I can like cope with the world sometimes. I realize, wait, I'm defending against myself by using bad, like, you know, words that are meant to be just harsh and offensive. That's the same thing as what, you know, why people put out movies that are full of like harsh, spiteful characters. And I know like curse words they're just words. If you accidentally let one slip, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. Why do it? I don't curse on here because I know people will be offended by it. Why let yourself fall into that habit? There's kind of like that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me mindset. I feel like that's been kind of lost lately for good reason, because words are more powerful than people think. The internet is a thing, obviously, and people get really loud on the internet, and that's why, you know, flame wars start and people get really offended. People are hurt by words. But not just there, like just powerful people in the world. I'm not going to name any names, but some people have very loud, you know, media voices, and they could say whatever they want. And if it looks like they're powerful people, trusted people, influential people, and people are hearing these words and being offended or frightened by them, that's powerful. That's the power of words. Words are powerful because they can imply the actions that you're going to take. As I said, the Bible has very influential, powerful words in it that if you internalize, will influence your actions to do good. In Luke 6:45, that's one of the Gospels in case you don't know. I just want to read it word for word. Jesus says, "A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of." Now I know, you know, there's kind of like this distinction between heart and head in our culture. Like, you know, what's in your heart isn't always what you're thinking. But it's good to strive to connect those things, and I think they're more connected than most people think. I think we think about our feelings more, like, unless you're like a robot, you think a lot about what you feel. Be careful with what you let yourself hear. Be careful with what you consume, and be on guard. So if you read something or watch something or anything like that, or listen to something, pay more attention, I guess, and walk away. Walk away if you think it's going to lead your thoughts in the wrong direction. If you think it's not loving. I'm happy that I walked away from that tonight. I want to continue to make progress in that regard and say things that are going to build you up as viewers, as people who take the time out to listen to the things I'm saying. All right, that's all for now. Let it marinate in your heart and your head at once.